We'll now proceed with the grand entry.
Please remain standing. I'd like to acknowledge and thank the Spirit Wolf Singers, the host drum for this assembly from the host community, Pikwakanagan. At this point, we will have the flag song. We now call for the flags to be posted. Please remain standing. Miigwech, thank you once again to the Spirit Wolf Singers for the victory song. So you may now be seated. Thank you.
Miigwech, I want to acknowledge the Grand Entry and the Spirit Wolf drummers. Nous allons maintenant poursuivre les protocoles d'ouverture et
we will now follow the opening protocols, and I would like to invite the Elder Jane Chartrand, Elder for Anishinaabe from the Mi'kmaq community. And I would like to invite her to come and present and communicate her gratitude for this opening ceremony.
I'd like to now invite Elder Anishinaabe Algonquin Jane Chartrand from Pikwakanagan.
Kwekwe, Anin, Bonjour, bonjour, and all the other greetings that I can offer you to our unceded traditional territory. I did bring my fan, but I left it in another place, but I will say the prayer anyway. I am Mushkiki Ianigishimo Kwe, Medicine Sunset Woman, and my clan is Turtle Clan, and I'm an elder from Pigwacknagon. That is my community. Gichimanadu, we thank you for this beautiful day. We thank you for grandfather's son. He brought the light from the darkness. We wish to thank you for the pristine waters that are flowing. We wish to thank you for the birds that fly. They signal to us the time of change of seasons. We wish to thank you for the four-leggeds. They are the ones that forage in the forest. They are the ones that will take us to our medicines. We wish to thank you for the finned ones. They too are coming back to our waters to replenish. We wish to thank you for the rock people, for they hold our history. We wish to thank you for the two-leggeds. We are the people. We are the ones that can see and hear and feel and speak. We are the ones that look after Mother Earth. We ask you, Gichimanadu, to look over this meeting, this gathering of our people from all walks of life. We ask you to help them share in that knowledge that they have. And we ask you to look over our leadership, all our chiefs, everyone that's in this room. We ask you, Gichimanadu, for we are the people of the land. Miigwech.
Miigwech, Elder Jane Chartrand. Nous allons maintenant poursuivre.
We will now undertake the opening protocols, and we will receive 2 invited guests for the opening speeches.
Et j'aimerais d'abord inviter
I would like to invite Chef Greg Saracen from the Anishinaabe Algonquin Pigwacknagan.
Goikwe Anishinaabe, Bajashin. My name is Gregory J. Saracen. I am the Chief of the Algonquins of Pigwacknagan First Nation. Elders, chiefs, grand chiefs, delegates, and people of Turtle Island, on behalf of the Algonquins of Pigwacknagan, I extend to you a warm welcome to Algonquin and Anishinaabe traditional homelands. The land that we're sitting on right now, this entire city, including the Parliament buildings, which house the Government of Canada, resides on unceded, unsurrendered Algonquin territory. We are all on Algonquin Anishinaabe land. Indeed, with the Pope's repudiation of the doctrine of discovery, there appears to be some movement towards global recognition that all of Turtle Island is rightfully Anishinaabe land. But much work has yet to be done to overturn the laws and policies that are built upon that doctrine, which deny us a rightful place in the world today. When the European cultures first came up the Ottawa River into our Algonquin homelands in the 1600s, we were here, where we have been since time immemorial. We are still here today in 2023, and we will continue to be here for the next 7 generations and beyond, despite the various initiatives designed to assimilate and extinguish our nations. We acknowledge all of the residential school children who never made it home, and all of those whose lives were broken from attending various residential schools across this land. Today, the Algonquin nation is divided by geography. We, the Algonquins of Pikwakanagan First Nation, are in present-day Ontario. Our brothers and sisters reside on First Nations north of the Ottawa River in present-day Quebec. It is my great pleasure to welcome all of you here today to continue your important work. I look forward to advancing and achieving this week's work plan for the benefit of our people, our languages, and our culture. Miigwech, thank you. May the Creator guide you and keep you and your families safe. Miigwech, and welcome.
Miigwech, Chief RoseAnne from Pikwakanagan Algonquin Nation. Nous allons maintenant accueillir le chef régional.
We will now have the Chief Regional Glenair for his welcoming allocution on this territory.
For your words, opening words, welcoming words. Thank you.
Ani, bonjour. Gwingos na stabe no zun bumedon, chiging donji. Miigwech dikit, mabagan na mat kin sak neget. Mnash wende gade gejek miigwech dikit. Mnash ge yino kina miigwech den nem nangush in the mountain Algonquin genchbad. Mnash mabagi magan sak neget gagi gidet. Kudan makor ewa miigwech. Good afternoon, delegates, chiefs, youth, elders, miigwech to the drums, and opening prayer, and our host chief, and a brand new chief at that, newly elected. Congrats. Welcome you to the Ontario region. Geget, Nibnegego, Queen Jidda. We got lots to business to deal with this week, chiefs, delegates. I do want to underline a couple of them, and that's the mental health in our communities right across the country. It has been hell for us since COVID, and it never stopped. We're dealing with so many ugly things where we're from. I want to echo our concerns and that the government needs to step up. They already went backwards on us when they didn't invite our national chief to the health forum, the premier's meeting. We should have been at that table. We got change instead from that business. We're real people across this country. And I know we're counted when it comes to money, even in Ottawa. They use our stats. So I echo, open them doors for us to sit at them big decision-making tables, that the decisions you make for us. And if you visit us this week, let's talk about our laws and bylaws that we write in our communities to protect our communities that they are recognized in the court system. They do not recognize them. I hit a brick wall just a couple of months ago. I know what I was there for. I was there for one of my children. And what the judge asked me was inappropriate. And that was asking me how much education I had. That is not what I was there for. She went to say something, I said, stop. I swore over your Bible I would tell the truth and the whole truth and nothing but the truth. You asked me for my education, I don't know why, but you kicked us around, you beat me up, you hung out my fellow students, you raped us, you killed us, you buried us. She was going to say something, I said, no, you asked me for the truth, that's the truth. The truth needs to be spoken out loud, people. We need to be heard. That hurt me. The other thing I'd like to convey from our grassroots people, they've asked me so many times, and I've started. when we speak about the residential school, that word school, that word S-C-H-O-O-L, that's a deadly word. They use another word in there, like kinumagegam, and kinumating, and kendaswing. Those are all referring to the education place for our kids. So I ask that if we can, when I know it would be hard, it's going to be hard, I'm trying, but when I refer to the learning place to everyone and the kids, please let's use that. Kendasugomek and the kendaswing. Let's not use that word anymore, because that is what I'm being asked, if I can convey that. So again, I welcome everyone here. The water forums are important. I'm really interested in mental health, though. I'm really interested in it. I was invited here last year to Ottawa to speak along and to AMO. I think that's the acronym, AMO. That's all the mayors and reeves of Ontario, 450 of them. When I got up to speak, a lot of them walked out. I ain't going back this year. I'm not going to waste my time. But I asked them, when I did speak, to stand alongside us to ask for mental health. The people we rely on to protect us, they need it just as bad as we do, as our moms and dads and our kids, and that's the police. Since that meeting that I spoke out loud to that leadership in Ontario, sadly, 9 police officers have been buried. And many of our kids. So I ask us to let's lead, let's put that in the front seat of our business to the government, that we need more support and funding in mental health so we can strive and our kids can be proud. So with that, welcome to Ontario. It's a nice place to be if we want it to be. Shake hands and hug. We've been locked up so long at home. We're back to some normalcy now. So again, miigwech, nice to see my colleagues, everybody here again this week. Thank you.
Miigwech, Chef Régional Glen.
Regional Chief Glen Eyre, Regional Chief for Ontario.
Adam.
Miigwech. So it is now 4:08, so I'd like to officially call the Assembly to order. Again, I'd like to do a very quick introduction. Nananakum kaise genin majbijayan miigwech ndenendan. Maga bagid ngoyak majbijayak ugmakan maga ginano dagzits oinog anshnabeg ma dakiwa. Ego na da jigabo ndjkaz na ben do dem ego nego zagning donji dan shinio ego nakuma mando gaiseg dan gagwejma jui mun segwe gawi mawachidyak. So my name is Adam Fiddler. I am from Sandy Lake First Nation. I am Anshinne. I'd like to acknowledge the drum and the elder for the opening. I'd like to acknowledge the territory and the chief for welcoming us to your territory. For this assembly over the next 3 days. So again, I'd like to say it's an honor. It's good to see everybody. As Regional Chief Harris said, let's shake our hands, let's give a hug. It's time to get back to normal. Although this assembly is still a hybrid assembly, we are here in person, but we are also joined by many chiefs on the virtual platform. So with that, I'd like to say welcome and miigwech, and I will turn it over to my colleague to do introductions as well.
Tiawank Adam, dear co-chair. Mon nom est Wina Siwi, bilingual.
My name is Wina Siwi, I'm bilingual.
I don't speak Anishinaabe Moan, but English and French for this hybrid Special Chief Assembly. I will now speak in French because I assume that you all have your translation device by now. And if you don't, it might be a good idea to go and get your translation device because it's going to be bilingual. I'm here. The AFN asked me to, they gave me the responsibility to make sure that we're all included here. Where the AFN respect the diversity of our nations, and they put the responsibility on me to make sure that French is also spoken here. Sur ce, mon nom est Wina Siwi, je suis...
This being said, my name is Wina Siwi. I'm a member of the Huron-Wendat Nation, a member of the Anishinaabe, Abitiwini community, or Picogan, both nations situated in Quebec. I'm a lawyer and a mediator by training, specialized in indigenous law, which can help for the training and our experience to navigate through the rule during that assembly. And our main role as co-presidents, to co-chairs, to make sure that it will be in fact, palatable for all the participants here. If you are present here on the floor or online, that will be a sane and safe environment, and also to keep time. This being said,
acknowledge the Anishinaabe Algonquin territory. Thank you for hosting this Special Chief Assembly. And on that, I'm going to turn the floor over to my colleague, Adam. Thank you.
Wina. So at this point, we'd like to move along on the agenda. I'm going to call upon National Chief RoseAnne Archibald to provide her opening comments, opening address, as well as part of the address, there will be a special honoring ceremony, honoring Julie Black. And with that, I will turn it over to National Chief Archibald.
Miigwech. Wachimiswe. Before I start, I wanted to acknowledge that we've had a lot of shifts in our AFN executive, and I want to acknowledge all of the regional chiefs who are doing hard work across Turtle Island for each of your regions. You'll see some new faces up here. We do have acting regional chiefs in PEI, and they're both sitting up here, Chief Darlene Bernard and Chief Roderick Gould. And we also have the new acting regional chief from Newfoundland. Brendan Mitchell is up here as well. So it's first meeting where he gets to be with us at the head table, so welcome. I also wanted to acknowledge that Alberta region doesn't have a formal regional chief, but we've had participation, and I wanted to acknowledge Chief Leonard standing on the road. Is he in the room? Is Chief standing on the road in the room here? I wanted to acknowledge he did attend our executive meeting, and Treaty 6 has been attending, as well as Treaty 7 with Chief Roy Whitney. So we're hoping that we have an Alberta regional chief or that situation sorted, but I do want to acknowledge the hard work of everyone up here at the head table. So Monish Kokoyas Kashkatangi Chinoyan, Sagoch Magan, the Kiskanomas Kishnita Inimoyan. So Wachimiswe, Okamakanik, Shishuk, Gishehawk, Squawak, Neshta. Oshkaniwak, RoseAnne Archibald, Natishagasan, Daukotagamo, Shakatakochian. Good afternoon, everyone. First, I always want to acknowledge the Creator, the world around us, and our place within it. And I want to certainly want to acknowledge the families, relatives, and ancestors of the Anishinaabe Algonquin nations. For welcoming us to their traditional unceded, unsurrendered territories. And I also want to acknowledge that we have a number of chiefs and delegates online on Zoom. And I want to acknowledge their presence as well in the territories that they're on. So You know, today is a unique meeting, and we're here to gather to talk about the UND National Action Plan. But I do want to also just say miigwech to Chief Greg Sarrazin, the host nation, Pikwakanagan, for welcoming us. I want to acknowledge Ontario Regional Chief Hare as well for hosting the gathering. And I also wanted to say that before this meeting started, there was a pipe ceremony early this morning. And so acknowledging Elder Wayne McKenzie, as well as Kevin Chief, who did the sunrise ceremony and raised 3 pipes for us this morning. Miigwech to Jane Chartrand, who came up and opened up this meeting in a good way. Thank you to the Spirit Wolf Drum for your songs. I do want to acknowledge that we have many sacred items in this room as well. And those items deserve an acknowledgement and for us to hold them close to our hearts as we do this work. Thank you to Weena and Adam for joining us again. We have planned a very productive meeting, and I know that Weena and Adam are going to get us through that in a good way. And so welcome everyone. Welcome to the 2023 AFN Special Assembly. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the purpose of the meeting. It's really to ensure that First Nations are participating in the co-development of the UN Declaration National Action Plan. And as you all know, an important part of the UNDA is free, prior, and informed consent. And consent is key. Consultation is not enough. We need true co-development. Governments alone, colonial governments, they cannot decide on the future of our lands and waters. These decisions and policies must come from the rights holders, you, leadership, the grassroots people and communities on the front lines. One of my all-time favorite quotes is, "All the forces in the world are not powerful enough to stop an idea whose time has come." And our time has come. Change has arrived. This transformation has been embraced by many. It's been resisted by a few. Nevertheless, we must all come together. We must focus for the people to fulfill our highest purpose as leaders. As you know, I visit communities across Turtle Island every month, and I carry those stories that the people tell me and relay to me. I carry their joys, their sorrows, their grief. I carry those in my heart. And I keep them at the forefront of my mind. The voices at the community level are what drive my advocacy and what fuels my passion at the national level. As you know, one of the things that I ran on when I was seeking election was to renew the AFN as an organization. And in the past, we've all heard this, that the AFN has been criticized of being out of touch and in need of an overhaul. And that feedback needs to concern all of us, and it has to drive us toward that evolutionary change and that positive change that's needed at this level. And I'm confident that the changes that I have been promoting as National Chief will only accelerate your work
for your communities. We're all sovereign nations with inherent rights given to us by the Creator. And as First Nations, we share the same intentions for our next generations, and that's why we're all here today. Although our teachings and languages differ, and I've been to many of the different nations across Turtle Island, I respect and honor each nation in their traditions, in their natural laws, and I honor these ways of being, and I honor these ways of knowing as sacred. So while each nation is unique, we're also united and indivisible. We are international, and we have to believe in that international vision. It includes the basic human rights to clean drinking water, the right to adequate housing, and that our women and girls deserve to be safe and protected always. And that's what the UND is about, the United Nations Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples. It's about our human rights. And our responsibility as leaders, our obligation, is to ensure that our communities are self-sustaining and that our treaty and inherent rights are fully recognized and implemented and protected. And as a matriarch, I also feel that profound grief and burden that we carry as women in this society. And I want women and girls who are watching, I want your wives, your daughters, your sisters, your aunties, your grandmas, your kukums. I want women and girls to know that they have a place here. They belong in leadership. And they are not alone. As we reaffirm together in our communities the path forward. And with our brothers, I have many brothers who I love, with our brothers by our side, we're going to continue to build a society where we are all acknowledged and treated with dignity and respect. With women in leadership, our resurgence is well on its way. And I also want you to know that the youth are watching. You know, we have co-chairs, and one of them texts me regularly, Haley, and they're watching us. And they know that you as leaders, we as leaders, are determining that healing path forward for them. And another thing I hear whenever I visit you in your communities, chiefs, I know that you and I are both experiencing lateral violence in our work because of this colonial system that we're in. And it's time for us to lead by example and lift each other up so that we can model that 7 sacred teachings. And that must include lateral kindness. We have to move away from conflict and disconnection to peace, connection, harmony in our working relationships. I've also heard the comments that AFN is distracted. You know, the media wants you to believe that we're distracted, but you know as well as I do that that's just not true. It's not the case. We're not distracted. Every day we show up and we do good work for the people, and we don't let anything slow us down. We have kept moving over and under and around obstacles like the precious Nibi water that we hold so sacred. And we are relentless in our pursuit of equity and equality. Some of the most important work that we will do together is to address overt, covert, and systemic racism for the First Nations people who are waiting in hospitals for proper treatment, sitting in prisons, ensnared in the child welfare system. To fulfill our highest purpose is to shift from poverty to prosperity, from intergenerational trauma to intergenerational strength and healing, from inner turmoil to peace beyond all understanding. As National Chief, I'm elevating these conversations at the international level through frequent meetings with Her Excellency Governor General Mary Simon, who's facilitating an opportunity for Indigenous leaders to meet with King Charles before his coronation in May, to reset that relationship with the Crown. I've had the opportunity to connect with US President Joe Biden, once at the Queen's funeral, very briefly, and also at his recent visit here. I took the opportunity to talk to him in a few minutes that I had about the issues that are common across the medicine line, the Jade Treaty, our ability to cross that border freely, and MMI-WG. I take that same message of MMI-WG to the United Nations. I brought that message to the UN Special Rapporteur when he was here. These meetings are essential to put pressure on Canada to live up to its friendly reputation. And as we hold Canada accountable for their ongoing genocide, not the past, ongoing, our next steps are to ensure that our family's first approach to MMI-WG is supported and actioned at that international level. And I look forward to returning to the UN this month for the permanent forum, and that the AFN will be represented globally as an NGO. The first time I went to the UN, I went under the Canadian banner, but this time we're going as an Indigenous organization. What's undeniable is that we have shattered the myth of Canada as a beacon for human rights. In fact, Amnesty International, their annual report recently called the state of Indigenous peoples' rights in Canada a national disgrace. After decades of shouting this, the world has finally heard our protest. Even the Catholic Church, exactly 1 year since our delegation traveled to Rome, has repudiated the doctrine of discovery. There's more to do. The truth has been set free. And now our allies also feel empowered to say the truth, and say it loudly, and sing it loudly, too. And so that's what the next part of my speech is about. My moment on stage, I should say, not my speech. We're so honored to have Julie Black here in the room with us today. It was Chief Chris Plain from Amjwaneng who sent me a text and said, you know, we honor all these ministers and politicians, but here's somebody we need to honor. As an artist, Julie is a truth teller, and she represents how artists are a part of the conscience of society. She created an energetic shift in February when she changed one word in O Canada. We have always been singing it that way, I'm sure. Our home on Native land. She shifted consciousness in that moment on a huge international stage, simply for singing the truth. And so today there's a legitimate discussion about changing that word in our national anthem permanently. So miigwech Julie, yeah, let's give her a hand. Miigwech Julie. Miigwech Julie, for your courage and your intuition. And I've had the pleasure of getting to know Julie over the last couple of days. And she's a great woman leader in her own right. She's grounded, connected to her heart, and we're so grateful that she's joined us today. You know, some of the most sacred connections we have as First Nations is with our Afro-Indigenous relatives, our Black allies, and we must recognize and honor them. Historically, in the time of the Underground Railroad, our relationship with them meant survival and safety. Now today, we gather to honor our long-standing and important connection. But before I turn to Julie, I do want to acknowledge that the AFN Secretariat and the National Chief's Office staff have really done a lot of work to get this meeting going, and I just would like you to give them a round of applause. So miigwech everyone, miigwech regional chiefs, chiefs and leadership. I'll continue to stand with you. I'll continue to advocate with you to support your plans for progress, just as you have done for me. And as I've said before, all the forces in the world are not so powerful as an idea whose time has come. And here on Native land, that idea and that vision is happy, healthy children surrounded by the love and care of their families, living in safe and vibrant communities. Let's work together to bring that positive vision to life, to the UNDA and beyond. Ninanaskamon Gasakitin, which of course means I'm grateful, I'm thankful, I thank you, and I love you. Now join me in welcoming Julie Black to the SCA stage. So I just need the protocol folks to come up to lead us through the protocol. We'll be gifting Julie with an eagle feather, and we'll also be blanketing her. So if we can get the protocol people to come up and help us, thank you. I believe that, sorry, can we turn this back?
Microphone, please. Okay.
So I believe that we had some elders that were going to assist us, looking for, oh, there they are at that side of the stage with Larry. Thank you, Larry. So we're going to come up, and Donna, if you can come up and make sure that we're following the list of protocols, thank you. Donna is one of my special advisors, often opens up our meeting with a prayer in a good way. So just want to make sure that we're going to follow the list of events that we had planned. So Donna, I believe I'm turning it over to Terry. Is that correct? Sorry, I don't see Donna there. So Donna, am I turning it over to Terry? Okay, come on over, Terry.
Bonjour, good afternoon. We've been asked to present this very special gift to a very special person. We always talk about being the voice for our children and our elders, and now we are honoring a person that spoke and sang on behalf of us. And we want to honor her with this star blanket. It represents strength, a new identity for her, a new beginning for relationships that will, the advocacy that we need in international and national platforms. We do a lot of navigating for our people, and this blanket represents dignity, strength, and it will open relationships for us. And we're going to present her also with an eagle feather. The eagle feather, as we all know, represents prayers that we ask Creator each day. We ask Creator each day for blessings, for a healthy minopmatsun, minoyawan. And this eagle feather also will give her strength. A new journey that we all follow, a new journey for all of us. And we want to acknowledge her with these two gifts. It's a very special ceremony, and we thank her from the bottom of our hearts for the advocacy and that special word. She's brave, and we continue to offer her bravery and respect. Miigwech for this. Miigwech.
I'm grateful. Thank you for welcoming me to your hearts. I didn't realize that my action would garner such a response. But on behalf of the Black community, I say we are one. We're better together. And as I'm wrapped and comforted and supported, by this blanket and holding this eagle's feather, it brings me to a hymn from my faith. And it's they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as an eagle. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint. Teach me, Lord, just how to wait. God bless you.
Miigwech, thank you very much for the special honoring ceremony, the presentation of the eagle feather and the blanket. One of the regional chiefs has asked that Julie Black sing once again for us here in this assembly the national anthem with her own words.
Oh, can
True patriot love in all of us command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north, strong and free. From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God, keep our land glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada,